Hey, I'm Kevin Pettit,
And I'm Martin Frazier.
and we are Loud Americans Discussing Soccer, better known as Lads.
It's not great.
It's okay.
It's not great.
No, you don't like it? We are
Uh-uh.
trying. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? We are trying Flying Fish Jersey Juice. Juice. I feel like I have a lisp. Juice.
I think it's pronounced juice or
Juice.
juice.
Juice. I feel like I'm putting an sh in juice.
The Jersey juice.
Jersey Juice. Shucker and Shuckertash. I guess it goes Jersey. It sucks. Is that like the stigma of Jersey, New Jersey?
I think so. I think like everyone from around and alive in the world right now
Is that the
hates
New Jersey? Just Jersey Shore. As someone from South Jersey, it sucks. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like that is probably like the trash state next. And we live in Philadelphia, which a lot of people call the trash city, which I don't agree. I think we have a lovely
We're a
city.
dumpster fire city. I think there's a big difference between a trash city and a dumpster fire because
Okay.
we have the Super Bowl.
That's true. We
fuck
are
off, Boston.
we are world champions.
Yeah, so we might have burned the city to the ground, but it's our city, and we're living in our firing city.
That's
And
true.
Jersey doesn't choose to live in their shithole.
That's wow.
Full circle.
We really brought that full circle. But anyway, it is May 1st, 2018. And soccer's still going on. We apologize again. We didn't podcast last week because I've been working like crazy and I want to cry. But in the meantime, I have beat God of War, which was so good. And I saw Avengers. So I did two meaningful things that, a lot of people wouldn't find meaningful. I find meaningful. But
That's all that counts.
yeah, and there's also been some awesome soccer. So we want to get to the awesome soccer. We want to talk so much soccer.
Oh.
But I know. And we're not a political podcast. It's obviously just a soccer podcast. That's what we intend to do.
It's our bread and butter.
We want to make it so it's like the average Joe can listen to our podcast, not like it's like not old British commentators saying like up the ticks. Come on, Wigan.
Right.
We don't want to be. We just want to be, your average Joe, and we don't want to talk about politics, but we have to today because politics have come into soccer. Is that a good way to put it?
It is, and you know what? I try and avoid politics. I know Kev does, and especially on this show, like we were saying, as long as you watch soccer, you're pretty cool with us. And
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? We have a president that is very polarizing, to say the least. And you know what? He's done a lot of crazy shit, to say the least. And
We're being polite.
yeah, and you know what? He can go fuck himself. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But you know what? He did. He's done.
We're not here to make a no. Okay. I don't give a shit if you like Trump. I have a lot of friends who like Trump,
right.
and like we hang out and drink, and then we're civil. You know what I mean? It's all about civility. It's not like. I guess we'll just cut to the chase. Trump commented on the World Cup.
He tweeted about it.
That's him commenting.
Yeah, true that.
About the World Cup bit in 2026, since we, as United States, Canada, and Mexico are the number one bid next to Morocco. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the FIFA rules clearly state, and I don't know if FIFA's corrupt as shit, but there are rules, there are guidelines, and the FIFA rules say that a country's government cannot directly or indirectly interfere with the country's bid to be a World Cup host. Now, Trump tweeted about it, and then a week later, yesterday, he talked about it again in a
Briefing?
briefing or some shit
Some
in the Rose
shit. I don't know
Garden.
what it means.
So
Yeah.
this is twice now, and you know what? If you go after my soccer, man, if you ruin this once in a lifetime World Cup opportunity for us, you're gonna have people on the streets.
Because the fun fact is my birthday tomorrow. So the last World Cup was in '94 in America, and there was games in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There would be games.
would.
There would have been. There can
Might
still be.
There might be.
There still can be. There's still hope that it can be in 2026. It can be United States, but there are a couple problems with this. With recent, and I'm not trying to blame Trump if we don't get the bid, but there are some factors that would lead into that. For one, he called African nations shitholes, and just FYI, African countries make up the majority of the votes for the bid for the World Cup because they make up the most countries, which is 54 votes. And the second bid is for Morocco, which is an African nation, which many of the countries in Africa have already said, like, yeah, we're going to vote for Morocco. Because also Africa has a heavy Islamic population as well, I believe. I don't know. There's very, I guess you could say, high Islamic population.
I think so.
That's fair to say. Okay.
Right.
And this whole Muslim ban that we got going on doesn't favor us as well. We're saying like which is like a lot of players who are trying to come to MLS are having issues because there's a lot of Islamic players trying to come play in MLS, but they're worried that they're going to be kicked out or they're not going to be allowed in. So for me, sorry, real quick.
Go.
I just, it's just counterproductive. Like in Mexico and Canada have come out and said like, and they've commented on Trump's thing saying like, all right, I see what he's doing. I understand what he's doing, but the fact that he's almost threatening other countries, it seems like people will say, well, he's not actually threatening. It feels like a threat. That like if you don't vote for us, like all these countries that we've sworn in NATO or whatever, I don't have the text right in front of me to quote it, but what I'm saying is this doesn't help, and it just feels like there was not a comment needed, right? It doesn't seem like it was like, again, it seems like a comment by a politician that like just like stay in your lane. Like I don't want to use that expression too much because that's like some so overused, but it is kind of like like just can you just let us have this one thing?
I think Fox News said it best, and I can't remember who the host was, but she said to LeBron James, stick to sports.
It's oh fuck, I forget. It's the girl who like
Is it Tommy Lauren? Is it that crazy girl?
I think it was her. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Tommy Lauren, also go fuck yourself. She said stick to sports to athletes. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. Stick to politics, Donald. Just stick to politics, man. Kind of stick to politics, but don't touch my soccer. That's all I ask. Stop tweeting about soccer.
I honestly, I literally, like when we were talking about this earlier, I'm like, this. People are gonna think this. Oh, it's fucking clickbait. You're gonna put Trump.
Though.
It's not, because he came into our
right.
Like, there's no like we've joked on our other like 40 some podcasts, like in passing, like haha fake news, haha, like
right.
made little like schneid comments at him and just as a joke. But this is where you stepped into our, like, we did not want to come to you. You came to us.
So
you know
I feel like this is real fucked up to say, but I feel like an immigrant right now. I feel like a minority who he has actually persecuted actionable shit against.
I guess soccer is a niche.
Right, and now he's come into our world and he's done some shit that could get this World Cup bid taken away from us. And you know what?
That sucks.
That sucks. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. We were both 1 year old when the World Cup was last.
I wasn't even fucking born.
Oh,
I was 94.
I was 1 year old when we last had the World Cup.
At least you had a chance.
I could have been brought there, but my
parents
parents were too selfish.
It would have been the summer, so I'd have been a month old. I was May of 94.
Okay, so you were there.
Oh, I guess I could have been.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so, anyway.
How was it?
It was great.
Okay.
I saw the final.
Colombia fell out, right?
Yeah.
I saw that whole documentary, that 30 for 30, the two Escobars.
Escobar, yeah. So, fact of the matter, too long didn't read, too long didn't listen. If you're pissed off right now, don't be pissed off at us, because we really could care less about your political leanings. But
I honestly don't give a shit. Like, I have tons of friends who are Trump supporters. I have tons of friends who hate Trump.
Yep.
And I'm not going to delete you off Facebook because you rave and rive about gun rights. I don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, like, all I care about is soccer and drinking and not pissing off my girlfriend. Like, literally, those are my top three things.
I care about three things. I care about soccer, drinking, motorcycle.
That's literally, like...
If you don't fuck with those, then we're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
If you fuck with those, then... This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, soccer, yeah.
So, moving on. Well, I guess we've been talking about soccer, but I guess let's move into the big event of the weekend, the Lads Derby. So, should we do it now?
I think Kevin...
Okay, it's time. Okay.
Do it.
Where is it? Okay.
Kevin's got to disappear over there real quick. Stay tuned. He'll be back with something better.
Should I change on camera?
I think so.
Okay, keep running.
I was going to say keep your shirt on. People don't want to see that, but you know what?
Okay.
Take your shirt off,
I'm
Kevin.
taking my shirt off right now.
Yo, get wild.
There's two guys in a room. One's taking his shirt off. You make the assumption.
It's cool. I might take off. Okay. So, the Lads Derby was this weekend. The second Lads Derby. Arsenal versus Manchester United. And you know what? It didn't fail to hype us up. Even though Arsenal set out almost a second team. Oh, look at this. Look at this Manchester United supporter.
If you are listening to our podcast, we now have a live video that we now post on our YouTube channel, which is still under my name, Kevin J. Pettit. You can look up just Lads or Loud Americans Discussing Soccer. You'll find it. If you are listening, I'm going to try and give you a play-by-play. I just took off my shirt. It was pretty hot.
Off camera.
Off camera. Kind of on camera.
I had to conceal some
Are you
things. Yeah.
okay? All
I'm
right.
okay now.
And I am now wearing a Manchester United jersey. It burns.
It looks good on you.
Thank you. Yeah, fuck you. So Arsenal lost again to Manchester United, which I've been saying for the past decade. And yep, so this is my punishment. A couple people, like Anthony Chopa, a couple people on Twitter once said shave my eyebrow. I work. I don't want to go in with that shaved eyebrow. Some person said like you should get hit in the dick, like get not teabag. Teabag is when you get balls
like
in your head.
The little punch.
Like the punch in the dick.
And that's
I don't want that.
That's too
it's
much.
like you ever get punched in the dick and it feels like an electric like volt went through
I just
you?
forget everything.
I just
about
black
myself
out.
in no pain.
Like remember when you were in middle school, the thing was like to punch each other in the dick and like run away, like haha. Like that's like I think about that sometimes and like that's hard. It's like
I will
gives
say
me
it
nightmares.
wasn't like a punch. It was just like a flick in the dick.
Oh, a flick. Yeah, they
you
used to.
flick the dick.
I remember that in middle school and everyone was like haha and like you used to try and get that person. It was like
Right.
the shittiest version of tag ever. It's like
Painful tag.
dick tag.
Dick tag.
Yeah, I did
But not gay.
Not
Kinda
gay.
gay.
Not gay. Totally not gay.
Hashtag not gay.
Hashtag not gay.
So the game. So Arsenal fielded probably
The worst side of the season.
Weirdest side. The worst / weirdest side
Youngest.
of the season. And you know what?
Can the worst also be the youngest? Is that
Yeah,
equivalent?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So they fielded the youngest / worst side of the season, and the young kids actually held their own. The first half, I got to see the first half. I was in New York again this weekend, and I watched the first half, very hungover, and then watched the second half at a bar because that's my life. And the first half, you know what? I was kind of impressed by the Arsenal's youngsters.
Yeah,
Maitland
Niles, dude, that kid's like going up against like Pogba definitely like help, like just because he was going up against like children in the midfield, which I know he's still young. He's only like what 25, but he's going up against 18-year-olds in the midfield. So Pogba definitely dominated the midfield the first half. It was like men versus boys.
Yep. Which it was.
But to be fair, I think they really held their own. Definitely some stupid mistakes, but you're gonna get that from some 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. You know what I mean? So I can't like be too upset because I think Wenger knows like season's over. He's done. Fuck it. Let's get these kids in. So when I first saw the lineup, my first thought was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like it's like I was like thinking like some people just like the Batman thing, just some men just like to watch the world burn. I was like, that's literally my first thought. Was like, oh my god, Wenger just wants to watch Arsenal crumble now because he wants revenge.
He's gonna take the revenge on it.
Because he came out with comments. If that's the big thing we haven't talked about recently on our podcast, is that Arsene Wenger, the big news, besides the lads derby, which we'll transition to after the game, is Arsene Wenger is leaving Arsenal. So that is huge news. But we'll talk more about that in a second. But back to the game. What's it called? Manchester United starting it off with the first goal by...
It was off the post by Alexis Sanchez, and Paul Pogba taps in the rebound. And I wanna use this goal to really highlight one of the players, Romelu Lukaku. When Manchester United bought Romelu Lukaku, he was bought as a center forward. He was bought as that poacher for goals. He was bought as a Benzema. As a Giroud. He was bought for a poacher. And I think
big fucker in the box.
Exactly. And I think that what he's shown this season, his ability to create chances, his ability to cross the ball, to hold up the ball, we did not buy him for that. And he has done that spectacularly for Manchester United. And I thought that assist that he had to Alexis Sanchez was fantastic. He posted up on the outside of the 18 after holding
beautiful
the ball
cross
and just tipped it to the
it
back
was wonderful. I mean, Alexis is fucking kicking himself so hard for not
Hector
missing that.
Bellerin. What a great save. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
Yeah, I'm just saying I think Alexis is going to be upset with himself, but I mean not upset that Pogba scored. Excuse me. But yeah, again, Pogba being in the right place, and I think it's also good for him because he's playing that more forward, where we're always like, oh, he's playing where he's supposed to be. Pogba was in that perfect position. And going back to Lukaku, like what you're trying to say about his comments is, I think Lukaku's really has adapted his game this year compared to like when he was at Everton. That I really think we've talked about this multiple times, and I think I've mentioned it, you've mentioned it. His hold-up play is so amazing, which a lot of people don't think about his hold-up play. And we're talking about like when you're that solo, like you're playing Fortnite, you're that solo up there by yourself, and you can literally wait for support, and he's a fucking rugby player.
Yeah,
like he
is.
can
Yeah.
literally body mostly every other player in the Premier League and hold the ball and be able to set up his. And I think that goes to show, like, people are like, oh, he didn't score that many goals as he did at Everton this season. And I would say, like, no, but he got more assists, I think. I don't know the stats on that, but I think he's definitely created more chances, which he's becoming more of a adaptable player to, like, what is necessary. He's doing what is necessary for the team.
Right. He's not a true striker where the only thing he's on the field to do is score goals, to poach goals, to be in the box and score headers, volleys, what have you. And the fact that he can play as a hold-up striker, but at the same time, and you saw this in the Manchester versus Arsenal game, Lukaku was on the edge of the defense the entire time, looking for runs down and past the Arsenal defense. And once he got it, even if those runs were like too far outside, he was able to hold up the ball. And like you said, like I said earlier, this isn't the Lukaku that Manchester United bought. This is Lukaku adapting himself, bettering himself, and it's really cool to see the improvement that Lukaku has made in this one season alone. And I'm going to go as far to say that Manchester United's best transfer in the Jose Mourinho era has been Romelu Lukaku.
Ooh, that's no. I see it. It's not outlandish.
No,
what I
but
want to
it's
say is like
interesting.
that's an interesting take. I like that. I like that a lot because it's different. Because like it's hard to grade a transfer by Mourinho when he hasn't really. I don't want to say he hasn't really won anything because he won an FA Cup, he won a Europa Cup, he might win another FA Cup.
Anything real. I'll throw that in there. I'm not scared of that.
What I'm trying to say is it's hard to grade transfers this early sometimes. I mean, somewhere like, oh, Salah is the most brilliant transfer ever.
Right.
And which you can grade immediately or you need some time. Like, I want to say Pogba, but again, he's had so many dips and he has so many, like, he's not consistent. Where I think Lukaku's been pretty consistent. I would have said Zlatan last year if he didn't get hurt. Honestly, I think Zlatan would have been a great pickup because when he was fit, he was so amazing. But I honestly can't give an answer right now. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United has brought in so many people, so there's so many options. And the only reason I would not pick Paul Pogba is because Paul Pogba does not have this rapid development that Romelu Lukaku has had in one season alone. And I can't really fault that on Paul Pogba. He's being played out of position, and Lukaku is not. And so we will see as the time goes on and these players improve, and if Jose Mourinho stays with Manchester United and stays in this developmental role for these younger kids, to see how it is. But on the flip side of things, an ex-Manchester United player looked the best player for Arsenal this game. Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, he came up and tied up the whole game.
It's a beautiful shot.
It was a goal. Like I don't want to fault De Gea too much because it went between the legs of Lindelof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just puked in my mouth a little bit. That was really gross. It was just a bad burp. You ever get?
It's this beer. It's the
I know,
Jersey
and I
Juice.
usually like Flying Fish, which is weird. I think Flying Fish is really good. I just don't think I like this beer.
It's the Jersey Juice. Except now that I'm like,
I feel like it's just
it's decent now.
you remember Futurama, like the
Yeah,
slurp juice when they go to the factory, like the Willy Wonka factory in Futurama. That's what like the color reminds me of.
Best show ever.
Oh my god, I fucking love Futurama.
You fucking fry.
Oh my
That's
god,
me.
Leela.
Leela.
Oh my god, such a babe.
Yeah, that one-eyed girl. Like, I have a thing for Cyclops. Now.
Yeah, I think because she would have depth perception, my dick would look better.
My dick always can look
Because
better.
she only has one eye to look at it. You have two. That's too many dicks. That's too many eyes on one dick.
That's why I always try nut in one eye.
One. All right. Going back to the Mkhitaryan goal. So David De Gea was kind of offset. It wasn't really his fault. He couldn't really. I know. I'm trying to keep it serious. Go back to soccer. And for him, he couldn't see the ball coming, and then Mkhitaryan just went right across De Gea, like right across the keeper. And so it was an excellent goal. And at that point, I thought there was a little bit of hope. I thought Arsenal was finally going to get their first away points in 2018.
That fucks me up.
So to go back to this, Arsenal has not gotten any. That's not even a draw against any side away in England this entire year. Which, to be in fact, there's January, February, March, April. It is now May 1st. It's gonna be
5 months.
It's gonna be May, and I hate that fucking
Me too.
meme. I fucking hate it so
I
much.
try to avoid Twitter.
But
all
it's
costs
like
today.
it's almost like sheesh. Like when the part of my take guys are doing it, I couldn't help but not say sheesh all the time.
Right.
Fuck LeBron.
Yeah, for real.
So what was I gonna say? So anyway, Henrik, wow, going up against his former club of 5 minutes he was at, and
yeah, I feel like there was no love lost between either party.
I don't. There was commentators saying like, "Oh, is Mickey looking over at Mourinho? Is he making eyes at him?" I'm like, "Why? There's no reason. Like, it just wasn't working.
5 months.
It didn't like. There's no reason to hold a grudge against a guy after 5 months. I can see a year.
Right. I can see a season.
Yeah. Like I barely like. I don't hold grudges. Like for me, like I don't give a fuck enough.
I forget about him.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, you don't like each other? All right. Like you don't like me?
Okay.
Cool. Like I'll be fine.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking have a beer. Like it doesn't affect me. I don't think there's really any love lost between Mkhitaryan and Mourinho. We might find out more later, but then again, I don't really care. Like that relationship was so short that it doesn't matter to me. Like I'm more interested in like Arsenal or Arsene Wenger versus Mourinho relationship because that rivalry's been going on for over a decade.
And it's really been such an intense rivalry, and this is working as a perfect transition, but we're not done yet. We've talked about 2 goals.
Should we just talk about the Frode Wonder, the fucking
he's not a Frode Wonder. He's a Frode
fucker.
He's a piece of shit.
So Mario Fellaini comes on, and every time he comes on, I look at Martin because I know Martin's gonna be like, just make this like that face, like I'm not gonna take a shit face like that.
It's like the dad disappointment face where it's just like, oh, fucking goddamn it, I hate you, son.
It's like, son, you forgot to take out the trash Sunday.
No?
No?
You did it again?
You did it again? It's like, oh, sorry, Dad, I just went to... All right.
And I just want to throw this out there. Marwan I'm going to try this again. Marwan Fellaini is up for a new contract extension. I wish I could express to my family right now, because you guys, the lad's family is my real family. I wish I could tell my family how full of hatred, how full of just disgust I am that this is even a possibility. He was brought on in the 82nd minute probably, and for 6 straight minutes he gave the ball away in the midfield. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
He won the goal.
Doesn't matter.
He got a goal and won the game.
Win.
But he gave the ball away 6 straight times in the midfield to smaller players. That tree is the biggest tree on the field.
He's an Ent from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but a shit Ent that would have joined Sauron's forces.
He's not Treebeard. He's like the one who gets caught on fire.
Yeah.
And he's like running around like...
That's him. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, sorry for the spoiler.
Spoiler.
But yeah, so Sir Encelot, a.k.a. Marwan Fellaini, a.k.a. the biggest douchebag in the world, is somehow...
Oh my God.
I hate him
I
so
know,
much.
I know.
If there's a United fan out there that loves Fellaini,
if you have a Fellaini jersey right now, please just fucking just
unless you're an Everton fan, then I get it because your team's shit.
Yeah.
And so is Marwan Fellaini.
Oh man, Big Sam, 10 more years. Yeah, it's just fitting that Arsene Wenger would go to his last game at Old Trafford and lose. And I love it. It's like everyone was saying, like, in a Fergie time goal, like, which he's just been just notoriously just getting his shit rocked by Fergie. His like
the ghost of Fergie.
Yeah, just Fergie has just been rocking him. It doesn't matter, and it does. Louis van Gaal beat Arsene Wenger with just Marcus Rashford. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's just. And yes, he got his first one against Mourinho last year, but then again, at that point, Mourinho's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just focusing on the Europa League.
I'm like 14-1 against you. It's
yeah,
okay.
the record between Mourinho and Arsene Wenger is startling. It is literally the craziest.
It's horrific.
It is absolutely insane how good Mourinho is, not only at soccer, but getting in his head. I saw a 433, the one Instagram, like post Mourinho comments about Arsene Wenger this week, and I was like, oh my God. It was just a highlight reel of Mourinho's best shit talking against Arsene Wenger. Please look it up on YouTube or something. It's literally Mourinho saying like, you know, I actually have to worry about my job. He gets to do whatever he wants. And like stuff like that, just like little jabs and jibes where like people are like, did he really just say that? And you're like, and he just gets away with it because it's Mourinho and he wins. So
dude, I think it's like the really, really hot girl in high school that was just so mean to the nerd in school like every single day, and nothing happened out of it because Mourinho was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted when it came to Wenger. In all honesty.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
he
he
was
had
able to say some horrible shit.
full range. Like
Yeah.
it's. And like I've always hated Mourinho, and a lot of people don't like Mourinho.
I don't like Mourinho, but I'm okay with
got-
him being a
but
coach.
Yeah, I mean, like, because he's kind of a cock.
He's
But
kind of a cock.
But
Yeah.
he's a good cock. You know what I mean? As a porn star would say, that's a good cock.
It's a decent cock.
Yeah, because it gets the job done. It finishes. You know what I mean?
In one eye.
In one eye. Well, I'm glad we got there.
Yeah.
That was a really good full circle. All right, let's move on. That Arsenal with another loss. Let's talk about Arsene Wenger gone. He is now leaving at the end of the season. So, Martin, do you want to start? How are you? Let me pose this question. What are your feelings about Arsene Wenger to start off with in the future, and what is his legacy?
To put it simply, if Arsene Wenger retired 4 years ago, he would have been heralded as one of the best managers in the history of soccer. Yes, he did not win a Premier League after 2005.
Four. I just wanted to clarify.
2004, 2005, right?
No,
Or was it
2003,
03,
2004, yeah.
Sorry. So after 2004, he did not win a Premier League. He never won the Champions League. But he changed the face of soccer. He changed the tactics of football. He changed the diets of footballers. He's done everything new. And basically, you can track back a lot of the new and regular techniques that not only tacticians and managers use right now, but the physio uses right now to Arsene Wenger. He was a trailblazer. However, and this is a huge caveat on his career, he ruined, and I'm going to use that word specifically, he ruined his legacy in the past 4 years. He should have gone out in 2013. He should have gone out on top, legacy intact. But the fact of the matter is, he stuck around. He tried to save a sinking ship. And the captain, Arsene Wenger, turned out to be the one who sank that ship in the first place. So he tried to correct all of his faults, but in the end, he ended up ruining his reputation. And if I can use one sentence to sum up his legacy, he was a trailblazer, but he tried to fight for his position and fight for his legacy too hard, and it ended up costing him his reputation.
He was a trailblazer who got burned. Okay, so I'm, as the residential Arsenal fan on this pod, even though I'm fucking wearing a Manchester United jersey right now
day.
because I lost a fucking bet.
Glory, glory, United.
I don't even know where to begin. Because I'm not going to be one of those fucking hypocritical Arsenal fan TV, hypocritical Arsenal fans who are now coming out of the woodwork saying,
you.
like,
I
who are
appreciate
coming,
that.
this needs to be
Yeah.
addressed. Because all these Arsenal fans who've been saying, like, oh, fuck Arsene Wenger out,
Yeah.
fuck fan blood, it's time, it's fucking time. And then now they're saying, like, they're coming out literally 180, coming out and saying, and coming out and saying, like, what a legacy left behind. The Invincibles, Dennis Bergkamp's goal, the doubles, Champions League final 2006, and saying, like, wow, what an impact on world football he's had. And let me start out by saying that I've been on the Wenger out campaign this entire podcast. You can go
I
back.
think since you started watching soccer, you've
Yeah.
been on the Wenger out
It's because,
campaign.
and like, I have to say, like, I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to be hypocritical, but what I'm trying to say is, yes, he changed the face of soccer. Going back to what Martin just said, he came in, was coaching in Japan prior to coming to Arsenal in, I believe, 96. And totally changed the face of dieting, of physical therapy.
Yeah.
In terms of bringing in international players, Arsene Wenger has the record for most diverse starting 11s in soccer history. If you look at the starting 11 of the Invincibles, you literally have like almost like 8 different countries represented in that starting 11, which is incredible because before the Premier, and that's huge for the Premier League because there's been nothing but like British, like English, Scottish, fucking. We're gonna go stay with.
I'm a peaky fucking blinder, mate.
We're going to stay with our fucking roots.
Yeah. Which I still
blood
say,
in, blood out.
Go back to your roots, England.
Blood in, blood out, mate. And Arsene Wenger changed that for world football, not only in the Premier League, but he changed it on a global scale where you, like La Liga was nothing but Spanish. You had And you start seeing more diverse players realizing, oh, you can tap into talent in Africa, bringing in Kolo Toure. You can tap into different talent from different parts of the world and have them all work together. Arsene Wenger is a pioneer, and I have no quarrels with him aside he should have left a lot earlier, and he's pretty much made Arsenal the butt of the joke of the Premier League. And it hurts as a fan, as a club that has, gained such a reputation as being a world power in football. It hurts. And I know Arsene Wenger, he's so passionate. He loves this club more than he would love his fucking son. I don't know if he has one, but if he did, he'd love it more than this club.
If Arsene Wenger has a son, add us, tell us.
On Twitter, lads_podcast.
What a fucking transition.
Thank you. At Lads Podcast Instagram, Lads Podcast Facebook, and we have a website, www.ladspodcast.com. We'll talk about Stadium Scene later because that's our sponsor, our homies, our guys who fuck with us. But I love Arsene Wenger. I had this book I wanted to present right here. Again, I'm showing because we're on video right now on our YouTube channel.
It's not a real book, guys.
Kevin Chapetta. It's called Invincible, and it talks about the entire Invincible season, about taking Sol Campbell from Tottenham, talking about getting all these different players from different around the world to make the most perfect Premier League team arguably of all time. I say arguably because you can say the 1999 Manchester United, the 2008 Manchester United. You can say...
Don't you say it. Don't you say it. I know what you're going to say.
Did you want me to say Man City? I'm not going to say it. Because, Chelsea last year broke the win record. And Man City just tied it up this year. Anyway, what I'm going to say about Arsene Wenger is I love Arsene Wenger, but I hate Arsene Wenger. Because he not only made me fall in love with football, he almost made me fall... to be just... to just hit that that's good enough. That's good enough, peak, where that's not okay. Where that, fourth place is a trophy. He's quoted in saying, fourth place should be a trophy because that's so hard in the Premier League. That's not okay. It is not okay to accept mediocrity. It is not okay to accept that because you can fall on past accomplishments. That's not okay. So I'm going to stand with it. I'm very happy Arsene Wenger's leaving. It's been time, and that I'm very excited for the future. And whoever the new manager is going to be, please understand that this is, as if you're an Arsenal fan listening to this right now, this is going to be a transition period. Don't expect someone to come in like Antonio Conte, like Pep Guardiola, like Mourinho, to come in and just totally win the league the next season. These things take time. Look at Manchester United. Look at several other clubs who are... Liverpool, who hasn't won a league in 20 years, have been trying to for so long. So I just dissed your club and you're thumbs upping.
Dissing Liverpool.
Okay. So just understand that you're gonna cry, weep, and cry and weep that Wenger's gone and we haven't won because, oh my God, we should have kept Wenger. No. His time is up. This is it. I loved him, but if you love something, set it free.
I think there's a perfect metaphor to end this love story with Arsene Wenger. So, imagine you fall in love. Deeply in love.
Oh.
Deeply, deeply in love. You think they are the world. They are the sun. They are the moon.
Okay.
And 4 years down the line, they just do this beautiful, amazing thing for you that has never been done before. That has just made you feel such elation.
They finally touched your butthole.
Yes. And won every single game without losing a single game in a season. So touch the butthole and go undefeated.
It's wonderful.
I haven't had either of those, so you know what? Actually, no, I have had my butthole touched once. I freaked out and I almost cried afterwards. So
you should have let it happen.
I refused to because...
Okay, go on. All right, so go back to your story.
So anyway, she touched your butthole. And she went You're right, Kev.
That was really good. Sorry, I wasn't. I thought we were done with the butthole talk.
No, never.
Okay.
All right. So you fall so deeply in love with someone, and you have a period of 10, 15 years where it's just happiness every day, every night, and then for 5 years, 6 years straight, you're just struggling to keep that anger in. You're struggling to not lash out. You're struggling not to hate the person that's in front of you. And I feel, and I don't know about this, but I feel like that is what Arsene Wenger has done to Arsenal. there are such great times in the history of Arsene Wenger's time at Arsenal. There are such happy times with Arsene Wenger at the helm. But in the past 5-6 years, there's been nothing but resentment. And it really kind of makes you forget about the happy times. These are the recent times. You're angry. You're pissed. And that's what it is at the end of the day. He's ruined your thought. He's ruined your memory of Arsene Wenger and Arsenal.
Tainted.
Because he stuck around too long. Because he was too stubborn to leave. Because I think, and like Kev said, he loves this fucking team. Probably more than his kids, if he has kids.
Please, we don't know. Please add us.
Yeah. Please.
I'm not putting a link at like.
There might be a link, probably not though.
No, probably not. I'm too lazy.
So
yeah,
that's kind of a fucked up situation, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's
and he's very upset because he was forced out. He's come out and quoted saying like it wasn't his choice to leave, and you know what? Like I said earlier, I don't think he would have left unless he was forced out. He would literally been tooth and nail crawling like
banging on your door, throwing rocks at your window,
just being dragged out.
Yeah.
So I think this is the only way that he would have left. So
in somewhat a dignified fashion, because I mean Arsene Wenger, for all of his faults, he has been a stalemate or a he has been whatever it's called for such a long time.
Yeah, I mean like before the Manchester United Arsenal game, you had Sir Alex, Mourinho, and Arsene Wenger all together like hugging, saying congratulations.
I wanted to ask you a question about that.
No. Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Just it was such an emotional photo to see three people who have really, for me, and definitely for you, have essentially wrote the story. You can't write the Premier League history without those three guys.
Absolutely.
You cannot tell the story of the Premier League without including these three men. And the fact that they have came and shaped the Premier League and come together and like love each other. I think they have like, as much as they've like Fergie and Arsene Wenger back in the early 2000s hated each other. And there was even a rumor that fucking Arsene Wenger was going to replace Sir Alex when he had that really bad year when Manchester United didn't do well. And then Mourinho, obviously, we don't have to get into his whole history coming to Chelsea and winning the league a bunch of times. Like, you can't write the history of the Premier League without mentioning these three men. I can't really think of another manager.
No, you really can't, because no manager
have been so influential as those three.
And been in the Premier League for so long and managed for so many years. So
at three of the top clubs.
Exactly. So my question is, and this kind of fucks me up because, I mean, I'm
getting all emotional. I'm getting like teary-eyed.
I mean, I don't like Arsene Wenger. I never have. I'm just gonna put it out there, but that's just my bias as a Manchester United fan. And now that Kevin's with me on the Manchester United side of things, he hates Arsene too.
Go fuck yourself.
Only facts.
Facts only.
Thank you. So, my question was, after so many years of hatred between Arsene Wenger and the tandem of Jose Mourinho and Sir Alex, it kind of seems awkward that all of a sudden it was a love fest. Like, congratulations, Arsene. Like, I would expect Arsene to have some balls and be like, get the fuck away from me. I don't need you hugging me. I don't need you presenting a trophy to me.
I really think it was like a very sentimental moment for both managers, because I think Sir Alex was made better by Arsene Wenger. I don't think Sir Alex would be the manager without the competition and the force. It's kind of like the Detroit Pistons making Michael Jordan better. Without
the
Bad Boys Pistons making Michael Jordan the greatest the hardest player ever to play basketball with the biggest killer instinct. The Detroit Pistons are Arsenal, and the Bulls, Michael Jordan, are Manchester United. Without that,
Kev, how does that feel?
It's reason.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it makes. I mean, I'm not upset at it. I'm just telling you. I mean, like, we had our Detroit Pistons won 2 titles back to back. I mean, our Manchester Arsenal won, and they haven't really won since 2004. Chauncey Billups. So it's the same thing with Arsenal. It's the same thing. We won briefly while another team flourished for a 6-year span. Manchester United went and flourished way after, just like the Bulls. So I think it's a good analogy. I think it's a solid analogy to show that Sir Alex would not be the manager. Oh, are you right? I think so. Yeah. Thank you. I analogy of the pod.
That's fucking fantastic. It all just hit me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Continue.
So yeah, I think I can understand your point, saying like Arsene Wenger being like, "Hey, fuck off, mate," and just like I don't want anything to do with you. Like you're just writing, like like you're retired. Like you don't understand. I'm still under so much pressure. I'm living in the new age of football. You know what I mean? So I can see your point, but I think it's more love because I think they both looked at each other and they knew like it's time.
Okay, yeah, I get that with Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, but Jose Mourinho has just been mean. He's been cruel. He's been evil.
Oh no, I didn't say anything about Mourinho because
So let's move on to that because that was like probably
I think
90% of what I was kind of weirded out by.
Okay. So I think Mourinho and Arsene Wenger have respect. There's a difference. I think Ferguson and Arsene Wenger have a love for each other because it goes deeper than Mourinho.
Absolutely.
And Ferguson's never been kind of like, like a dick. He's always respected Arsenal. I don't think Mourinho's ever respected Arsenal because their glory came before even he was in the Premier League because he came in, 2005?
I think so. He came in
because that's when they won.
bought the
came
club.
in, yeah. So for him, like, he never had to go through the tenure of, like, 98 to fucking 2004 where Arsenal were literally him and Manchester United were neck and neck. Like, it was Arsenal, then Man United, Arsenal, Man United. It was literally back and forth. So for Mourinho, I think there's just a level of respect in terms of credentials of how good a manager each of them are. So for me, I mean, I still don't like Mourinho as just like as a person and as a tactician because I think the way he plays football is just really boring and just, he gets the results, which is good. But for me, like, that's not the kind of football I like to watch. But I can't not respect him. And I think Arsene Wenger's in the same boat. I think he's just like, yep, I respect you. You're good. And it's like the cop, like when Louis C.K. is in Parks and Rec and he talks like a cop. He's like, oh, yep, that's exactly what I would do. And I would go and tell you this. Yes. My Louis C.K. reference.
I like it.
I don't think people like it because Louis C.K. is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is. He's
Damn it, Louis.
He ruined everything.
Yeah.
So too long didn't read part 2. Arsene Wenger is out. Sad's on one half of the podcast, and it's kind of weird. And so let's just touch upon a couple other games in the Premier League. We've got Liverpool versus Stoke City, and to be honest, I cannot remember when the last time Liverpool was held 0-0.
Yeah, Liverpool not scoring a goal is such an anomaly. It is so weird not seeing them or Salah on the score sheet because he's on the score sheet mostly every other game. It is crazy, and Salah is so close to breaking the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record, which is absolutely insane. He's sitting at 31 goals right now, and that's insanity.
It's disgusting.
I mean, Stoke is in a race not to be relegated. I mean, I think they're fighting tooth and nail. I think Liverpool are just trying to get. I think Liverpool's also in the mindset like, fuck the Premier League, it's over. Like, we're ready for the Champions League. They got the big Roma game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And Stoke, I mean, for their credit, they're in 19th right now. They're 3 points from safety, so they were fighting tooth and nail. And you know what? They did what they had to do. Somehow they shot.
There's a possible penalty penalty. Kennedy. It's like, you ever seen Ferris Bueller? Yeah. Kennedy. So there was a penalty shout for Liverpool. I didn't see it, but no. I mean, not that I didn't see the game. I didn't see the penalty. Yes, thank you.
Yep.
So I mean, I think if they can come out and get into the Champions League final, that's a great year for Liverpool.
Absolutely. I think
yeah.
Solidified their place as either third or second place.
I mean, Tottenham's creeping. So we can transition right to, let's do Chelsea first. So Liverpool, stupid tie, draw, whatever. Fuck you, soccer, perfectionists with your...
Yeah, you know what? Chelsea somehow edged out a 1-0 win against Swansea.
Which isn't really that hard.
It's not, but I want to throw out a story right now.
My beautiful swans.
Your swans suck. So, I was in New York City again.
Don't make eye contact with me.
I was in New York City again this weekend. I was in New York like 3 weeks ago, and I went to a random bar. I walked from Times Square to like the dive bars that I can actually afford. And so I ended up in this random bar 3 weeks ago, and I asked for them to turn on the Liverpool game. I think it was the thumping of Southampton or something.
Sounds about right.
And so this weekend I'm back again, and I somehow wandered to the exact same space The bartender recognizes me. My best friend from back home, Mooresville, Kyle Phillips. Find him on Facebook. Say mean shit to him. He's a piece of shit. The bartender recognized me and was just like, "You want to put soccer on?" I was just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, dude."
Goddamn right. You're goddamn right. I want to put on fucking soccer.
You know me. You know me better than anyone. So
What
he
up?
put on this
What up,
Chelsea. He put on the Chelsea Swansea game, and for all the shit talk that Mourinho gets, Chelsea is just as boring in some games.
I mean, they were last year too with Antonio
Yeah.
Conte. They really dug
Yeah.
out like 1-0 wins,
Right.
and a lot of like last
I think
ditch
it's
winners.
just
Yeah.
hitting me.
I think Antonio Conte has a more fire. Maybe we ignored the fact that they played kind of boring last year
Because
to the
it's
fact
his first
to-
year,
to-
wins the league. Yeah.
to the fact that Antonio Conte was. I think he was such a good tactician last year, knowing the faults of other managers' first years coming in, like Pep and Mourinho, and taking advantage of that. And that Arsenal is just a fucking mess as usual. So yeah, they really grinded out a result here. It's gonna be real. Not a lot of people are talking about this anymore, but the curious case of Chelsea of what's going to happen to many other players and their manager next
Alright.
year is Antonio Conte. I'm just going to pose these questions.
No, I want to hear
So
him.
is Antonio Conte going to stay at Chelsea? I don't think so. I think there's tons of problem with Abramovich. Abramovich has no problem getting rid of managers.
Or patience.
Or no, there's no patience. It's
Yeah.
like win or get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Eden Hazard has been mentioned to go to another club, such as Real Madrid. I think N'Golo Kante might be looking at another club. I think he can.
That's bold. I
yeah.
like that.
Also, they might get a Morata because Morata hasn't performed. They might go out and buy another striker and get rid of Morata. I'm calling it now. I think Morata has underperformed this season, and I think Abramovich, he's not stupid. Abramovich is not stupid. He has won. Chelsea is the most successful club in the past decade, by far.
Oh yeah.
So for me, like, I think Abramovich will see if someone falls short, he cuts dead weight like it's nothing else. Like the Russian he is. He sees that dead weight, he gets that fucking polar bear, and he fucking mauls him. So what I want to say is,
I don't know if Russians use polar bears to maul people, but I'm so about that.
yeah, I'm about it too.
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Putin probably has like 18
He
polar
rides
bears.
them. He rides them. He is on top of a polar bear while they eat the person in front of him.
Every 23 hours
Any
out
reporter-
of the day, Putin is on a polar bear.
Oh yeah, and shirtless,
Absolutely.
Oh, shirtless,
I thought
yeah.
that was just
given with vodka in one hand and a gun, assault rifle.
Putin fucking rocks, man.
Dude, I mean, he's a piece of shit, but he rocks.
But he's fucking
Dude,
kicks ass.
the dude is a fucking badass, but he is a piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But Abramovich is
He
also...
kills. He like kills reporters and shit. Like, you might kill us. We're next.
Putin, please kill me. If
Actually,
you're listening to
yeah.
this,
This is actually a saving grace.
it's a plea.
Wow,
it's a
yeah.
plea to kill me. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Anyway, Chelsea gets that win 1-0 off of Swansea with a Cesc Fabregas goal in the 4th minute. And after that, it was boring as shit. But to touch quickly on the most interesting game of the weekend, I think, in my eyes.
Not the last derby.
No, it's Crystal Palace dicking on Leicester City. They won 5-0, and it was so bad that Jamie Vardy came on Instagram and publicly apologized to
You know
the
it's
fans.
serious when it's Instagram.
Right.
So, yeah,
he
that's
tried to slip in the DMs for an apology. That's how serious it is.
serious Snape.
Serial it is.
Cereal. It's cereal.
It's tricks.
Yeah, this one just totally blew right by me. When you told me about this, I totally forgot about this game, but it is a serious scoreline. When you lose by more than 3 goals, that is devastating to a club.
Especially to a team like Crystal Palace. Like I'm not gonna talk shit about Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure
I think
fans talk enough shit about you.
I mean, we talk enough shit
Yeah,
about Crystal Palace.
right,
It goes
right.
without saying.
And they win 5-0. Of course, Jamie Vardy has to come out and apologize. Let's flip the switch. Let's
Public
go.
apology. It's like fucking like a congressman who just got caught sending a dick pic. It's like pretty much these. Oh, our roommates are playing Fortnite right now
And
so
winning by the
Oh.
sounds of it. If you guys can hear.
Hey, we're staying relevant and hip. Hey, Fortnite. Okay. Let's talk about Man City beating West Ham's dick off 4-1. Goals by Leroy Leroy Jenkins, Sane, and Pablo Zabaleta,
with
and
an own goal.
Gabriel Jesus, and Fernandinho. My accent's getting way better, by the way.
It's really not, Kev.
No, but it did start out pretty crazy because it was 1-1 at one point with that Cresswell getting a goal for West Ham, and you're just thinking to yourself like, okay, maybe Man City, slipping. They didn't slip. It was a complete shit show by Man City, just reaffirming that why they are the Premier League champions,
and why Joe Hart should not start for any English event ever for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that goes without saying. It just reaffirms that like they might end the league with over 100 points. The Centurions, Man City, might win the most Premier League games. They definitely will. And not only that, and with over 100 points, that is absolute insanity over a 38 game season. So for me, wow, they have to go down as one of the top Premier League sides.
See, you know what?
Because
this is my worst nightmare.
I know it really is
fucking like crushing all the records, and then you got Liverpool in the Champions League. So, as a Manchester United fan, this is probably the worst year. 2017, 2018. Probably the worst year of my life.
Yep.
Just going to throw that
out there. Okay. That's fair. Move on to another disappointing team, Tottenham, getting a win against Watford, 2-0. Dele Alli with a very, non-show-off-ish goal. Because wasn't it an own goal?
No, it was Dele Alli.
It was Dele Alli, yeah. But his celebration was very humble. Yeah, I remember seeing that, yeah.
I'm just so sick of celebrations. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there. If soccer players could just stick to sliding on their knees or fist pumping the crowd.
Or I love Salah's. I mean, honestly, just him just going like...
Right.
Yeah,
like,
Salah, I literally wish I was a Liverpool fan.
Or do this. Here, Kev, do this. Yeah.
I almost kissed the Manchester United symbol.
I was so close.
on his jersey.
I was so close.
I don't know where this jersey's been.
Woo!
I don't know where it's been, so I don't want to kiss it.
I've jacked off to it a couple times.
I don't blame you. Is it Rooney?
It is.
Oh, that hairline. I just want to fucking. So yeah.
Snap back to reality.
But let's not forget, Harry Kane also scored the second goal. He is up to 27 goals in this Premier League season, which is phenomenal. That is, he's only 4 goals behind Mohamed Salah, and he has not played a lot of games. Right. So, and let's not forget, I saw the stat, it may have been Bleacher Report or BE Warmers. Harry Kane scored 8 goals in his last 3 Premier League games, and there's only like 2 Premier League games left. He could easily catch Mohamed Salah, depending on the schedule. I forget who the last 2 teams they play. We won't look it up now, but I mean, Harry Kane's possible of scoring against the top 6. He can score against anyone.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is so remarkable about Harry Kane is that he's 24 fucking years old. Let me say it again for the people in the back.
Shit, I turn 24 tomorrow. I'm a piece of shit.
I've been 24, Harry Kane. Stop putting me to shame.
He's making you look like shit.
And he's scored the most goals in the Premier League for the past 2 years running.
Yep.
2 years running.
Well, Mo Salah wasn't in the Premier League last year, so we don't know what could have happened.
Fuck you.
All right. I live in this universe where anything can happen, so...
no, it's only facts.
Facts only. Facts only here in this podcast.
Facts only.
Hottest takes and facts.
He scored the most goals for the past 2 years. Right now, he's second most, and like Kev said, he can easily surpass Mohamed Salah for the most goals, and he's only 24 years old. And this man, I mean, yeah, he claims goals that aren't his, but he's a fucking legend at 24 years old, and Tottenham is facing such a problem this summer. Are their players going to stay?
Is Pochettino going to stay?
There's so many questions going into this offseason, and I'm so fucking hyped for it.
I know. I honestly, because when we started this podcast last year, we've only almost been potting for a whole year. And when we started this, it was during the summer transfer when Neymar went to PSG. If you go to our first episode, like, we've really I think we've gotten better. Right?
Probably not.
Probably not, no. Probably gotten worse. The fame's gone to our head.
Worse, right.
The 5 people who follow us on social media.
We're just like, we're 5 people
I guess, and we really suck.
Right.
Sorry, it's like you ever burp and like it's like
in your nose,
and
yes.
it burns, your nose burns. I just had that one of those like beer burps.
Have you ever thrown up in your nose?
Oh my god,
Dude,
it's the
that's the
fucking
worst.
worst. Well, I scream puke. Oh my god. Are we gonna admit this on the podcast right now?
I'm not gonna admit shit.
Should I
Because you
admit
do
it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I puke, audience, fans, loved ones,
Lovers.
countrymen, I scream puke. So like
It's horrific.
if I'm puking in your house, no matter where you are, you could be in the tippy top of your attic, in the basement, you will hear me wherever you could be outside the fucking house. It's literally disgusting. It's
like
so
a
bad.
demon is being exorcised.
It's literally The
from
Exorcist.
him.
It's literally my head is spinning. I'm fucking puking around the room. It is disgusting. It's horrible. But yeah, I'm really curious about Tottenham. That seamless transition. But I'm really curious about what's gonna happen to Tottenham this summer. I do see at least 2 or 3 players, or I say 2 players leave.
You know what? I'm gonna be bold and say the opposite. I say no players leave. The coach doesn't leave. They try it one more year. And
No,
the best
Poch stays one more year, but I think at least 2 major players leave.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say the players are old school players, committed to the team, committed to the plan, and
The process.
Trust the process, Tottenham. Everyone is gonna stay, and everyone, from the manager down to Kieran Trippier, down to Ben Davies, is going to stay on Tottenham because they trust that process. But you guys still won't win shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. You'll make top 4, but
Yeah.
you won't win the league. Couple more things we want to touch upon before we end this podcast. One is Iniesta is retiring, and that Barcelona has won La Liga 7 out of the past 10 years, which is fucking incredible. I just want to say this. Everyone's going to be like, well, La Liga is not as competitive. I'm just saying, you're in the same one as Real Madrid, who's about to probably win 3 Champions League in a row. Atletico Madrid, who is a world-class club. And you have other clubs, such as Sevilla, shout out to our friend Scott, Valencia. You have other clubs who can compete.
You have
And the
clubs
fact-
that can compete, but they're on the Everton levels.
But can still give you a run for your trouble to slow you back against the other clubs, say like Real Madrid or Atletico. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, Iniesta leaving Barcelona is so strange to me. It's like Arsene Wenger leaving Arsenal. It doesn't, like, it's a change. It's just such a weird change because he's been the captain. He's been such a fucking placeholder in La Liga. Just a perfect specimen of what football can be, what soccer can be. The potential to show like how pure intelligence of the game can be so defining that you see what I'm trying to say? That like he's Kevin De Bruyne before Kevin De Bruyne. He is absolutely perfection when he's on the top of his game. And the fact that he's playing at this level at what? Is he like 35, 36?
I think he's
No, he's not that old.
35.
33, 34? No, he's older, like 35.
Yeah, I think he's around 35, and like he's just been such
Class.
he's
Pure
been
class.
class his entire time as Barcelona's maestro. He's been class as Spain's maestro, and like in the past 2 weeks, the amount of Iniesta things that I've seen on Twitter, on Facebook,
Love.
on
Just pure
Instagram,
love for the player.
and it comes from everyone who played against him, played with him. And the man's won more Champions League, more La Ligas than like 98% of the population on Earth. 98% of the, greatest players in our lifetime.
I mean,
And
like, here's my question to you. Is he the greatest Spanish player of all time? He is for me. I can't think of another Spanish player who could overtake him.
I would. The only person that I'd put above him, and he's in a very similar position, I'd put Carlos Puyo above him. And then I'd put Iker Casillas above him. But other than those 2 players, for La Liga and for the Spanish national team, I can't think of a single other player.
I think
he's
I
in
would.
good company.
I mean, no. I mean, when you were, like you were saying, like when you were in the Puyo Iker Casillas conversation,
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you're absolutely in good company. I think I would put Iniesta first because of his creativity. He's more because playing soccer is about scoring goals. He's about
true.
so what my point would be is he's the one who creates those chances and he scores goals. So for me, I think he's just
He also won the
He's like the
2012 World Cup for Spain. So
yep. There you go. He's the reason that 2010 World Cup.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Dude, I'm always 2 years off on every single.
Well, because
World
they won the
Cup.
2012 Euros. So I see what you're saying.
I'm always just 2 years off.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm 2 years off of like literally fucking everything. So yeah, for me, Iniesta is the greatest Spanish player of all time. I don't think there's an argument to be made against Pollo, Casillas. You could say Ramos, but I would be hard bent to hear many other Spanish players not put Iniesta 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, the man has had just a spectacular career. Real Madrid won this weekend, but Barcelona locked up the title, so they are the La Liga champions. And it's a fitting way for Andre Iniesta to end his career.
That and the Copa del Rey. They would
Exactly.
go out with 2 trophies.
And he still has a chance to go undefeated, so wouldn't that be the perfect end? Trust me, I don't want that to happen.
It's a storybook ending.
It is a storybook ending, and to move on to our last segment of the podcast before we get to questions, let's move over to Italy. Move over to Juventus versus Inter Milan. With 3 games left to play, Juventus leads Napoli 4 points ahead. And they played Inter Milan this weekend. They played
The
Kevin's
suspense.
least favorite player in the world for no reason.
Icardi.
Fucking yeah, Kev.
No, I don't. I just feel like he's overhyped.
Dude,
I'm not
he
a fan.
fucking kicks ass.
I'm not a fan.
He's like 5'5".
Where's Inter Milan on the table? Like 3rd?
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't really care for Icardi. He's been doing phenomenally for Inter Milan this whole season. I just think he's just overhyped. I don't know.
We've been talking about this for
Literally
like at least 3 years.
Yeah,
4 years.
like every year, Martin's like, dude, he's fucking sick, man. I'm like,
He's not that good.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck about him. What has he won? Fucking nothing. Like for me, for you to be, I mean, at least he win something. Like he hasn't won shit, or move on. If you're great, you move on to the top 4 tier clubs, right? Like a Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Unless you're
Yeah.
loyal as shit, which is what I respect with Icardi, but he still can't beat Juventus. Juventus came from behind. They were down 3-1.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? If anybody asked that in Italy, the answer is Juventus and Buffon. Buffon and co were down 3-1 in the 61st minute to Inter Milan. And by the grace of God, they came back. And in the 89th minute, Fat Man, a.k.a. Gonzalo Higuain, came up clutch.
God, I love Fat Man, but I also hate Fat Man.
It's a weird love-hate relationship.
Fat Man, he's like Duff Man from like The Simpsons. Like I'm just like he disappears. He's like, "Hey, I'm Duff Man," and you're like, I fucking hate you, but you're so clutch.
You're cool.
I mean, there is some refereeing controversy going on, especially that Maximiliano Allegri saw the 4th official after the game, called him by a nickname.
Ooh,
and
I did not see that.
Yeah, there's an investigation going on with Coach Allegri saying that am I pronouncing his name right? Allegri?
Maximilian Allegri.
Anyway, essentially that he like called him by a nickname and said like, oh yeah, that guy deserves a promotion. So I don't know if it's UEFA or I guess it wouldn't be UEFA. It'd be like the Italian league is running an investigation about it. Saying Ooh, I got the dirt, man. Ooh, I got that. Like it's like the Bachelor. It's like it's like the Bachelor, but like even spicier because
Spicy.
it's a little spicy. A little like Brad's cheating on Rachel.
Angelina?
Who? All right.
Ooh.
All right. Debate. What's the most basic girl name ever?
Hold on, can we get a 3-2-1 here?
All right. All right. Most basic girl name ever.
Hold on, let me preface this by saying that I'm going to name one of my ex-girlfriends. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Haley.
Ashley.
Shit, dude, shit.
I think
All right, we need to end up this. We need to stop now because
all right.
me and you.
Ooh.
Woo!
All right.
Woo!
So I think we've resolved that. Okay.
We've broken some barriers.
Barriers have been broken.
Fuck, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's real fucked up.
I love that. I love that so much.
Both of those are exes, by the way.
Well, no.
You said Ashley?
I said Ashley.
Ah.
No, that's a friend. That's a close friend.
See, I thought you said a variation.
Oh, a variation of that. No.
You see who I was saying now?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right.
All right. Anyway, that's been Loud Americans Discussing Soccer. Should we talk about our sponsor?
I think we should.
Oh no. Let's not talk about our sponsor. Let's talk about the questions. Thank you, fellow lads. Here is a question. So we answer questions on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, which is like at lads podcast, or usually lads _ for Twitter. Thank you. And we have a website, www.ladspodcast.com. And we post blogs and like post all our videos, and all our podcasts are there. But we're also on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on all sorts of things.
Stitcher. We're on some South
Yeah,
Korean
so here's our
shit.
first question. Who are y'all's all-time favorite players? I love the y'all's.
My people.
Retired. So this is parentheses retired. So Martin, go first.
This tweet comes from Glenn Lawrence. You can actually find him at Glenn Lawrence on Twitter.
Glenn Lefty Lawrence. Thank you.
Lefty Lawrence. And you know what? This is I feel like it's a easy question, but there are so many options. My favorite retired player right now is Ricardo Kaká. He might still play for the MLS, but you know what? Go fuck yourself. Ricardo Kaká was how I fell in love with the midfield maestro position. And I watched him on AC Milan. I watched him on Real Madrid. I've watched him on Orlando FC. And Ricardo, the drop off is real.
It's like, wow.
And I just have watched him for so many years, and his presence on the ball and the way he can run
And dominate
with the
a
ball
game.
and dominate a game and pass through the game, it just fucks me up mentally. And he's honestly probably the best person I've never met. Kev?
My favorite all-time retired player. I don't want to say Thierry Henry because that's too easy, because that's biased as an Arsenal
Right.
fan. I would. That's fucking tough. Honestly, I'm gonna say what's it called? Your boy, Fernand.
Rio?
I think Rio.
Fuck yeah.
I think Rio is so funny. I think he's
Rio
absolutely
kicks ass.
Rio is just so passionate about the game. I love seeing him on Sky Sports, and I think he is absolutely hilarious. I also love Patrick Vieira because he coaches an MLS team. So those are my two nominations. I'd probably go Rio, just because I fucking love Rio. I think he's so great. Let's move on to the next question. Anthony Chopa, young leg, who is on your roster for the French midfield this summer? So I guess easily Pogba.
If we're doing a 4-3-3, so we can only pick
Pick three play players. All right, I'll do
midfielders.
my first three.
All right, go ahead.
Pogba, Matuidi, and who's the other bull from PSG? The French guy, the young.
Kurzawa?
No, a midfielder.
Kondogbia?
Oh no, he's Italian. I'm thinking of
Verratti?
Verratti. He's Italian. That's tough. Yeah, you go. I can't think of one.
All right. So Kev's got 2 out of 3. I'm gonna finish this up real quick.
This is tough.
Paul Pogba, and Conte, and then my final one is Payet.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know
then
if I don't.
close fourth is Fekir.
Oh, okay. I forgot about N'Golo Kante. I'm sorry.
He's your boy too.
Yeah, I know. I love N'Golo Kante.
I hate him.
Yeah, I know, because you think Andy Herrera is like just there with him.
Andy Herrera is better than Antonio Conte.
Hot
Quote me.
take right there.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely true.
At me.
Not
Ooh,
me.
Kev.
I just.
It's that Manchester United.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. But I think Pogba, N'Golo Kante, and like Matuidi, that's a tough midfield to get through. So
That is. And then our final question comes from at Puck Sherbin or at Pucks Herburn.
yes.
I think it's a hockey tweet, which I fuck with hard. And
How-
he says, "How do I stop my wife from drinking my good whiskey?"
First,
Divorce her.
first off, you could substitute your whiskey and put a poison in there, and then your wife dies.
Or divorce her.
Or divorce her, or say that you're cheating on her. You're not gonna touch your whiskey if you're cheating on her.
That's right. Or say you have like HIV or something. She doesn't
Oh
want
no,
HIV.
no one wants HIV. I don't want HIV.
There's plenty of options.
Or you could
Puck
put
Sherman
or
or whatever the fuck
your name
is.
is. I don't give
Puck
a
Sherburn.
I don't give a fuck. All right, this has been a great episode. Thank you guys so much. Check out stadiumscene.com.
Cheers.
There are favorite people. This is empty, but
Oh, that's
sure.
a damn shame.
They have the best places to show you where you can get the best places to park, find the best restaurants to your best sporting event. You can go there fucking easily at stadiumscene.com. And Martin, please tell them where you can go to find us on their other website.
If you like us, if you think we're cute, if you think we know a little bit about soccer, go to stadiumscene.tv and check us out on their website. They've also got some hockey podcasts. They've got some football. They've got some baseball.
They got some tailgate.
basketball.
They got a tailgate tourist. I fuck with tailgate tourists. They also got our brothers at Bros Talking Soccer and what's the Soccer Tavern, who give you whole histories about soccer. I fuck with all of them. I fuck with every single podcast on Stadium Scene. Please go check them out. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Lord.